Guys, I appreciate all the follows. We are just settling in and making sure that SkiiMaskTimmy and Oberstom are fully panda comfy for episode 2 of the Pandamodium podcast, rolling in very shortly now. So, whilst you guys all get yourselves warm in your seats and settle up ready for episode 2, myself, Tom, and Timmy are going to make sure that everything is set and ready to go. So, enjoy the intro music. Enjoy the beautiful, now sponsored podcast screen, delivered delightfully thanks to the Pandaric esports group. They have been so supportive since the start of this that they have now decided to come through with a leading swing in the scene by stepping up and sponsoring the podcast. So a massive shout out and thank you to the Pandaric esports group and association and all of their amazing members for that effort there. Looking forward to seeing you very shortly. Make sure you get your snacks, your drinks, and everything ready because we'll be on screen with you very soon. Good afternoon, evening, or morning, depending on where you are in the world, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to episode 2 of the Welcome to Arena podcast. Today, we have been blessed by the pandas from the forest with the sharpest of bamboo canes that you have ever seen. 2 of the faces of the Pandaric squad, including both a captain and the main man and head honcho when it comes to all tournament organization and everything community related. Let's welcome into today's podcast our 2 guests. Firstly, SkiiMaskTimmy, and secondly, Oberstom. Gents, how are we doing this evening? Glad to have you here.
Very, very, very happy to be here. Very happy to join you on this amazing podcast. And finally meet the legend that is Tom Oberst. I mean, I've been such a big fan since the start of Arena. And also a fan of Cracked Wisdom and some of the people in chat here. You know, you got Lolo, Hiding Sheep, Shredders, Slaw on Arrival. We've got so many great people joining us as well, and yeah, really happy to and again, thanks for having me. And I'll pass the baton to young Tom over there.
Yeah, Timmy's first time talking to Timmy ever. My schedule's really busy, so he hasn't really talked to me or seen me before. But here we are now. Nice to meet you, Timmy.
Nice to meet you too, sir.
So, for the guys at home in chat then that don't necessarily know you too well, and maybe a chance, folks, for them to introduce each other to each other, let's have a little chat about who you both actually are and what it is you do in relation to Pandaric. Let's start off with Oberstom. Let's start off with the unknown factor, all right? Definitely not heard of ever in the EFT scene. Definitely hasn't changed his name recently on Arena to Deceased. 100% does not have it in all caps and would be the most subtle of names you've ever come across in the rank queues, all right? Now, talk to us, Tom. How are we? What do you do for Pandaric? And what is it, I guess, that you find most appealing about the Arena scene?
Oh, well, my name is Tom. I changed my name to Deceased. Make sure you always type it in all caps. Yeah, I've been I joined Pandaric, what was it? About almost a month now. And like ever since then, like it's been pretty chill. Like a lot of fun times. I'm the captain of my team, IIGL. I get mad at my teammates when they do things wrong, but they're pretty good teammates. They're pretty sweet. Um, yeah, I love to show my face for Pandaric. Like the pandas are awesome. Every single one of them in the chat and everyone, great love to them all.
Amazing to hear. So, a strong forward member, you would say, of your Pandaric squad. You are IGL, are you not, for what is now Panda X, if I'm not wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
North
Talk to me how it.
American Panda Egg.
Yeah. So Panda X, how? Talk to me a little bit about dealing with those pandas, okay? Because I'm gonna come to Timmy for a similar question in a second to speak about the EU pandas. Because I know every once in a while he might look like a zookeeper with how he's having to wrangle them about and get them all under check. But I'm sure the NA squad, because knowing the talent you've got on that lineup, I mean, they must be a tough roster to deal with as well. Because I'm sure they're not light on a lot of confidence, should we say?
Yeah, we have a lot of confidence on our team, and it really helps our gameplay. We always can win every single round. Obviously, we don't win every round, but we always have that ability to go into every single round, whether we're down like 1-7, whether we're up 8-5, and we're always prepared to win the round. Um, Very talented roster. If you probably if you know Pandaric, you should know the roster. All the teammates that I have are very amazing at all the games. I go play any FPS with them, and they're all amazing. Europe is like playing Fragpunk right now a little bit, and he's top 100. And I play Valorant. I get carried by my teammates, and it's a fun time all the way around.
Very competitive lineup of players, regardless of what it is that they're necessarily playing there. I know Fragpunk has been something that's been a lot of enjoyed, I shall we say, perspective and viewers, people that have gone to go and watch it on Twitch, as well as playing the new game that's been dropped out there. It's yeah, quite popular. Fragpunk 1, I think a lot of people have enjoyed. With that being said, though, let's have a talk about the other side of the pond, because it's rare, chat, that we get to see sort of an NA and an EU composition rather than a rivalry, shall we say. Timmy, me and you being from that EU side of the pond, we, constantly stand, shall we say, on the edge of that pond with a golf club in hand, ready to send that abuse back over when it comes to NA versus EU rivalry, right, mister?
Yeah, and I think the NA and EU rivalry and us not sort of getting to see a lot of games being played and what's interesting with growing a team and it growing to be having an A team and having an EU team is that they can scrim with each other and they can provide each other crucial feedback in a very in an open sort of an honest way. Because obviously all the team members have signed NDAs, and on top of that, it just gives them the ability to work together and improve each other's sort of gameplays, improve each other's, whatever it is, from like literally from mental to the mechanics and to the strats. The teams can share this together and become better together. And yeah, I mean, both the EU team and NA team are performing extremely well. The NA team, whilst still being team aspect on the leaderboard, it was just at the time that we signed the NA team. They came second place, and I'll bet my money they'll take first the next time.
Interesting for that, and appreciate everybody coming in with the follows in between. I'm going to try my very best to either tip the hat, give you the heart, I'll give you some thumbs. We see it coming in, but I also don't want to interrupt the wonderful wise words, the wisdom coming out of the guys that have joined us here on the podcast. So please don't feel depreciated, guys in the chat. I appreciate every single one of you. All of the support is absolutely tenfold appreciated, and it's the reason why we're here. All right, without you guys that have been so positive about this podcast, even since the first episode of the concept of it beforehand, that's why we're here. All right, so it's great to see that not only is it hopefully providing exactly what it was that you guys were talking about in the first place when we had the initial conversation, but that you keep enjoying it is, paramount to this. On that, I'd like to take a second, and I'm hoping the guys here can join me in extending a reach out to you guys in the chat today. If you've joined us for the podcast and you're enjoying it, and you'd like to interact with the podcast in one way or another, something I'm looking for on a weekly basis is funny clips, okay? We've got a couple of little bits and bobs that we like to do alongside the podcast, including a what happens next section, all right? Now, if you want to do something to help out with the podcast and you maybe want to submit one of your funniest clips that's happened during the week, then get onto Twitter at Cracked Wisdom with a 1 instead of the I for wisdom, all right? And tag your clip with hashtag Chill Chat with Cracked, and I shall view your entries, and maybe one of you might be able to get your video on the what happens next section on next week's podcast. I have got something lined up for this week's, and we're going to jump into that bit in a little second, but if it's your first time here, we're going to sort of run you through how things happen, all right? This is a casual conversation on the couch. We've fetched 2 legends to join the yapper, and we're going to talk about Arena itself, gameplay, favorite weapon choices, favorite kits and drip, because we all know the fashion is the most important part, personally, about Escape from Tarkov Arena. And then we're going to talk about some maybe creative and curious ideas going towards the future, as well as what these guys have got to bring when it comes to Arena as a whole. Inclusive in that, we're going to get to know these guys a little bit better, and you guys get a more intimate understanding of what really goes on underneath the skin of some of these crazy cool players, okay? And you're also going to get to have a laugh alongside them when we either catch them caught in 4K red-handed, just like we did Undead with his beautiful nade last week, or if they are spotless and able to pull off miraculous performances like the Snorlax 5K ace that we saw this week in responses to some heated controversy on the socials after a day 1 performance that, I mean, people talked about both ways, right, Mr. Timmy? Snorlax had a rough time on day 1, given the way that the game's played out. But you also had a really rough match on day 1. It was not the easiest ones to be playing. And, I mean, to expect a miracle outcome would have been naive at best. The fact that Snorlax came back swinging with that 5K was great to see. And it was something that really did put a smile on my face, even from the casting booth. The one thing I will say, chat, is I haven't got that Snorlax 5K clip ready for you because there wasn't a quality good enough out there right now to do it justice. The best I could get was 720p, and I don't want to bring you guys a pixelated clip, so if you want to go check it out, go find it where it is posted, where it's in good quality. Get on the X socials, get on the Pandaric EFT Twitter, where you can see that clip in the beautiful quality that it fully deserves. What I am going to do, however, Timmy, is ask you a question. I have got a clip from this week, okay? It's not, don't worry, this is not an Embarrassment Timmy clip, chat. This is one actually that I'm wondering how many people caught this, but we want to talk about strength of the EU scene, okay? And right now, the question that I asked last week was, which of the NA teams did the NA scene think could contest with a top EU scene? Now, my question I'm going to ask you, Mr. Timmy, is which NA team is going to be able to contest with this kind of hive mind? Has anybody ever in their life seen 4 people all look at the bomb at the same time in their entire career? Let's just slow this down a little bit, guys. Let's just slow this down a little bit and just watch this again, okay? So what do we do next? What do we do next? Oh, yeah, let's all go and get on the bomb. That is honestly ridiculous. You want to talk about some synchronized mindset right there? That absolutely blew my mind when I saw that, okay? So that was Oil Rig in their HPL Season 3 performances in the first weekend. I think it was day 2 that one ended up happening. But Timmy, the EU region as a whole has grown massively. How much stronger do you think they have got, and how much stronger do you think the scene can get?
I think we've seen some interesting storylines in the Arena scene, and I think the story arc of any esports game has to be strong, and there has to be progression. Season 3 has been played, in my opinion, almost completely different to how Season 2 was played. Teams are utilizing more strats. It's and more and more are teams becoming more organized. So as an organization, you tend to organize the teams um, that you pick up, such as Team Aspect and the Pandaric you use. So you tend to put things in place that allows them to train efficiently, effortlessly, and it allows them to have this sort of roof over their head, knowing that if there's any rain, Timmy will take it. So to see teams forming, almost becoming more professional with each season and implementing things that are changing the way they train, changing the way they read up strats, changing the way they report on things. And like teams are now, getting coaches involved. They're looking for coaches. Pandaric, we have a great coach. Shout out to It's Max. And having these things in place completely changes how you view the game.
I just wanted to nod, and I'm sorry, Max. Okay, I've got to give Max a little bit of a caught in 4K. Okay, I couldn't find a clip from SkiiMaskTimmy or Oberstom this week, so instead, whilst I was looking through the clips, I did find a rather proud young human being of themselves of a little shout out they got on the HPL. I may or may not have noticed It's Max clipping a shout out for It's Max from the cast on the podcast on the day of, I think it was day 3 of the season. So Max, rightly so, really proud that he got himself a shout out, but decided to go and do the hard work and clipped his own clip of his own shout out. Oh, that wasn't me. Yeah. It was you we were shouting out for some great coaching, but it did make me giggle that the clip was shout out Coach Max and then clipped by It's Max.
Nice.
Absolute dumb. No, but fair play to the guy. And you know what? I've got to give this here. This is one of the things that really makes me smile is people going and looking through the Hunt Premier clips. So many of you, all right, go through and watch little bits of something, and you'll pick a clip and it's either got my commentary on it or it's got Hort's commentary or Blue's commentary. And the one thing that's amazing about all of that is it's like, not only is it part of what we do on the daily basis, but that sticks in your guys' mind. Like for you, that's got a personal relationship to you because of the environment that it was produced in, and you guys remember it. So it's really cool to go through as somebody, like, bear in mind I do all of these little clips together as part of my job, and then I go back and look at it. It's really cool to see which bits you guys really enjoyed. For example, there's Mr. Krabs. Okay, Mr. Krabs TTV from his performance in EU this weekend, where he got the nice little 4K and the hiding place, shall we say, A plat, has just named his clip, I'm retiring after this. So some of the great creativity you see on these clips is great to see. So yeah, don't stop going and clipping yourselves from these guys. We'd love to see it. W to Max, because Max has been doing a great job coaching. I actually wanted to ask, we'll spill the beans. Mr. Tom, you've, I'm sure, had a bit of work with Mr. Max at this point in time, right?
That is correct.
Talk to me about his coaching style. How much of a benefit really is Max for this team? Because we can see improvements from the EU side already in 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, Max is a great guy. Me and him, we defeated the Ender Dragon on Minecraft after knowing each other for like 2 days or something. It was a lot of fun. He's like multi-layered. Like he will approach everything with different layers. He's very analytical, but he also is pretty easy to listen to and has pretty straightforward perspectives on things. He's been watching our NA scrims and the EU scrims. He's gotten like a lot of info. He's doing a really good job. What I wanted to mention about that clip that with the oil rig thing is we were scrimming the other day and they basically did the exact same thing to us. And I was very surprised like how aggressive on the bomb they were. And I was like, oh wow, like that's like a lot of the work they're doing. They're implementing things that they see and they're actively like becoming better and better and better. And Max has only been with the team for a few weeks as well, and so like having this much of a difference and like a difference maker in Max is like a huge thing, and like moving forward there's like so much potential with it, with him and with everything with the team.
That's it. I mean, almost wax on, wax off esque. You turn the M upside down, it becomes a W. It's Max clearly bringing the W to the Pandas, and it's great to hear that the coaching is going strong. It's good to hear it from a player's perspective as well. I know sometimes you can find it very hard to be respected as a coach in an environment where players will have this, I'm at the top of my game, why should I be deferring my knowledge to somebody else who's talking at me from a perspective where, and let's be realistic, if you're a good coach, you have to be quite harsh on your perspective. You have to be very hypercritical about small mechanical issues or base foundation, because that's bits that break apart the bigger gameplay that you can't afford to miss out on in pressured scenarios like Escape from Tarkov Arena. So definitely good work. Glaze where glaze is deserved. Everybody loves a good donut, and if it's not shinily glazed on the top, then it ain't the best donut you're ever going to find. So, credit where credit's due. Shout out to Max for that one there. It's good to see. I'm actually curious a little bit to your two personal perspectives, okay? Because we know a lot about the Pandas. And Timmy, those that get to see you on stream, they get to see a lot of your gameplay. But in a few words, what is it that you enjoyed the most about Arena? And then give us the real nitty gritty. What makes you really crash out? What gets you absolutely raging? When do we see smoke coming out of the SkiiMaskTimmy ears?
So to start with the positive, I guess, good news first. What I love about the Arena is the ability to modify your weapons, modify your kit, from the clothes that you're wearing to the armor that you're wearing, to all these different things, from the meds that you're using, the grenades. Well, not the grenades. You pick them up on Blast Gang. You can tell that I'm the team manager, not the player, and all these different sort of parts of the game, and just the way it requires you to work as a team. Because in Tarkov, every little mistake it's got to be paid for. It's almost like the devil was there, and as soon as you make a mistake, you get popped in the face, and is bye Timmy. And that to me is what makes Arena great. And the inertia, the heavy feel of the characters, the importance of movement, the importance of positioning, and I've watched a Counter-Strike 2, for example, Tawny and stuff like that, but when I watch Arena, it's just, when you understand how difficult the game actually is, you just have so much more respect for the players that play really well. And in terms of, I love Arena, and as you know, I'm doing everything I can to help build the Arena community and Arena as a game. In terms of what gets me ticked off, I would say my own nades. I have a terrible time reading nades. I think there was a stream where I was live with Cracked, and I had such a good position. I think even the bomb was planted, and the bomb was planted. They wanted to defuse it, and I was like, I'm gonna chuck it over, in I forgot what the map is called, in Bay 5. It was, I just came through forklift, and I'm on site in between the two containers, and I was like, you know what? I've got this. Cracked like, oh wow, Timmy still has a nade. What a great strategist. And I just launched the nade with the underarm. It hits the fucking tanker, comes back, blinds me, and I'm dead. So that's what breaks my bones and ticks me off, is my own stupid mistakes. Because like I said, Tarkov, with every mistake you have to pay for it. The devil is there.
I don't want to do this. I feel like I have to do this, and this is a bit rough. So I mean, I'm a kind of apologize in advance, but there's one thing that really did stand out, okay, and that's that I think a lot of people actually fall prey to this, okay. I think a lot of people really struggle once in a while, and it's not because it's something that, what's the words? Oh, it's not a mistake, okay. It's a case where you're playing a game and you're half managing 6 to 8 different things, and whilst you're half managing 6 to 8 different things, you just throw an 8 out of habit, and sometimes it doesn't go where you want it to, okay? And I mean, sorry, Undead, but Timmy's definitely been taking lessons from this kind of gameplay. The difference between poor Undead's nade that we got to see again in 4K right there for you folks from last week's episode, and the difference between that and Timmy's nade was Timmy's nade literally hit the scenery and landed point blank in front of his face. Undead got nice and fortunate that it went, all the way off screen left and out into the abyss. But we're going to talk about some flying things actually now, because it's going to bring me on to another clip that I wanted to share with you guys. And we've actually got the wonderful owner of Pandaric's very own moon spaceship. All right, I heard you guys were really looking to blast off in the future. And I'm going to be honest with you, I heard Svedas was actually kind of getting ahead of the game. And there he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Svedas to the moon. Apparently that's yes.
Oh my goodness.
So just to let you know,
GG's.
folks, the Pandas don't ever join the ranked games and always take it seriously, always willing to have a good time. I'm sure Svedas will remember that one.
Oh god.
Some of the antics we get up to in game are ridiculous, aren't they? Yep. He'll have enjoyed that one. So, speaking of hilarity and things that get a bit crazy, all right. Oberstom in particular, you play for Pandaric in the competitive arena scene. What is it that you can tell about the team that makes you different? What's like the quirky feature that you think for your NA Pandaric side separates you apart from the other NA teams in the scene?
You know, to start off, I haven't known the people on my team for too long. Difference between like a different for every person on the team right now. But we like I said, we play games together. That is not Tarkov Arena. We're able to like be really friendly with each other. A lot of jokes, always jokes. Able to have that banner and always like play off of it because like you want to be really mad at your teammate, but you don't want him to like think he's a horrible person or something like that. And so being able to not be serious and say stuff that is like kind of mean but also like funny, and then like the opposite of thing of that is doing like constructive criticism without them feeling deflated or defensive. That's a big thing. So our interpersonal relationships is really big. When it comes to how I feel towards each and every one of them is I have like full trust in them all to frag and them all to do like things in every single scenario. Like I just let them do as much as they can. I lean into them as much as like they're willing to do stuff. There's frustrating times and stuff, but like we've gotten over them all, and it's been like a really 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 enjoyable time.
Absolutely. Shout out Timmy, coming in for the 2 months, tier 1 with a resub. Even whilst he's mid-podcast chat, all right? This is something I want to attest to you at home, folks. Those of you that don't get to work alongside Timmy, and thanks to the amazing sponsorship, that it was Timmy himself who reached out to me to propose this kind of wildness. He said, look, Cracked, you know, I really believe in what it is you've got going on here, and we as the Pandaric squad would like to back it. So let's have a little business chat about what we can do. And they've jumped on board as a sponsor, and I cannot be more grateful, honestly. It goes to show just this man's work ethic, that even whilst we're yapping away here, still trying to keep that support continued ongoing in there. Gifted sub following it up, Ignotis coming in with a tier 1 as well, and then the hype train. So we're all rolling, not just in our seats, but we are making tracks even whilst enjoying the podcast. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much. And Timmy does put in the hours. You've got, you see, the likes of Timmy's community, Casboo there that's coming in. I believe, I don't want to spoil too many things, but I did see a B-Pan Casboo in a couple of my ranked games recently. So I believe there might be a B-Pan Casboo, a B-Pan Ignotis, maybe a B-Pan Derek squad in the future, Timmy?
Could be. And it's something that obviously we're gonna come up to in this podcast. So guys, if you're tuning in, make sure you don't miss it. There is a huge announcement, and that announcement will also tie in with why some people have been seeing a BPAN people running around and taking some rounds of some very good players. And it's something I'm looking forward to announcing in obviously in due time.
Yeah, absolutely. We are fully stalling you today, guys. Okay, if you're not a fan of blue balls, this is not the episode to watch. All right, I'm telling you now, we're going to be drawing it all the way out to the end to burst the bubble on the excitement for this one. I'm telling you now, there's a lot to talk about. All right, we've got pictures, we've got many statics that have been sort of dibbling and dabbling about. If you paid attention on X, you may have seen a side-by-side screenshot of our intro screen. We'll just quickly slap that one on screen so you familiarize yourself with that one. So this, alongside something that was how do we describe it? It was a little bit of red. It was a little bit of blue. It was a little bit of a question mark. Had an A over. There was a lot going on in that picture there. So I mean, if you were paying attention, there's going to be spicy things to come. But we're not going to delve into that too soon. We like to build a bit of anticipation here. So, firstly, we're going to talk about weapons, okay? Because I think something that really has changed in the arena scene right now is how the weapon meta has been considered, especially given the TRG is now officially a thing. I don't think shotguns exist anymore. I think if somebody says to you now that a shotgun is a weapon they're using in a ranked game, you've gone back to that mindset of saying they're throwing. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of shotguns anymore. They really have fallen into the wayside. Maybe I'm cooked. Maybe that's why I'm not on one of the teams. So fair play. We'll see what it says. But, I'm interested to get you guys' opinions on this one. So we'll start with Tom. Talk to me on your top 5 weapons, Tom. Just off the top of your head, quick fire. What, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 of the weapons you go to for comfort?
All right. I got border guns really quickly. Right now, I'm using the spear. It's very nice with its damage. Pen is a little inconsistent. Right now, I see everyone fragging on the SR3M. I don't know. It beats me, but it's so good. And when I use it, it's very good as well. And so the same goes with the Val, which is just a slightly worse version of that, and also the Foul, which is a slightly worse version of the Spear. And then I got to go back to the OG days with either an HK or an M4, I think.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. What's your comfort pick? If you're having a really rough day and you're like, weapons aren't working, what do you fall back on? What's the real back of the box pick that saves your bum?
I think it's just it has to be the Spear because you'll get kills anywhere you shoot, basically. Just the damage, 2 shots to the chest, not all the time, but most of the time in that throat hitbox. Yeah, even if you really are feeling bad on your aim, just aim for the legs. Maybe you'll kill him 6 bullets or something like that. And yeah, so it just takes the aim out of the equation a little bit, but I enjoy it.
Okay. Timmy, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because I know you like playing with a variety of weapons. You don't mind what it is that you're carrying. I know you're more a full auto person, should we say, than firing a single fire platform. But I know you like to mix it up. So what's your top 5? Do you reckon?
Top 5? I don't. You know what? Chat and pretty much everyone in the community knows that I'm a SR3M junkie.
Okay.
I don't play any other gun because I just feel like any other bullet is not gonna as pen, and I'm more of a player that doesn't that's gonna get lucky tap shots rather than, you know what I'm saying? And you can't really do that with an M4 due to the bullets you have available on assault, for example. So yeah, SR3M is my to go to. I don't really run any gun, and I was actually thinking of doing a spear build, but I need a few more GP coins before I can.
Okay, fair enough. I respect it. I think spear's an interesting one. I know a lot of people, especially one of those Panda Cup Trios tournament winners in Miss Hellcat, that was one of the most recent ones that you guys had hosted, came away saying that she's also been a big fan of the spear recently, something that provides that level, like you say, of consistency. And I think, Tom, you would agree with that. I think we're all, I guess, sitting on the same side of the house for this one, that the spear does have that level of mid-level consistency where it's 3 to 4 bullets, and normally you're good for time to kill, right? That's normally a tick in the box, especially if they're hitting the same area, even from blunt damage. So interesting perspective. It is a big round. I mean, this is the conversation. It's why hybrid got removed so quickly, was because the spear was causing people nightmares when it got dropped. So no surprise there that it is still a consistent factor inside of the arena scene. That being said, what do you like the least, Mr. Oberstom? If you had to pick one weapon to put in the bin and that you would not allow people to use again, what are you throwing away?
Shout out to Mr. IFP himself for this one. Most annoying, and it's been this way for probably 6 months, a year since Arena dropped. The most annoying by far for me is the PKM or the PKP. That thing is so annoying. It just destroys the audio, destroys the frames. It's just so annoying. And now it's if someone's using it and it's just the round, it's such a bad round, and then the recoil, just everything about that gun, just it irks me.
Don't ever scrim my team. That's all I'm going to say. Don't ever come and
Oh
scrim myself
no.
and 4 other
Oh
people.
no.
All right, because
Oh
for
no.
about half a year now to 3/4 of a year, we have been crafting a double enforcer PKM. You have no audio strat that literally plays into
Oh
exactly that.
no.
You get to walk onto a site And if you dare step within audio range of that site, prepare to have your ears rinsed by the sound of PKMs just walking it down. There
Oh
is
no.
100% toxicity in that level of setup, but it is something that I am cooking the best possible. Well, this is the point. So 2TM makes a point in the chat. Okay, says, what if I don't even play with audio already? That's kind of the point, okay? We all know sometimes we'll walk into a corridor or a chamber or a container and it's an occlusion zone. For whatever reason, you just fishbowl audio. You don't get it. So, why audio? I don't need audio. Like, it makes
Oh
sense to me,
no.
right?
Yeah, that's my retirement there.
So you heard it here first, folks. Pandaric X officially broken by PKMs, okay? Clip it, ship it, post it on the socials, get it out there. You found it. The one kryptonite to a panda is abusing its eardrums, okay? No panda abuse, please. We love the animals. Be nice to the animals. But no, I can understand it. Noise is a thing. We had an interesting conversation about shotguns last week for a similar topic. But I think noise is probably one of the more controversial topics in Tarkov overall, right? Taking the PKM aside, I think as a whole, right, it's very hard to actually speak of where audio is versus where we want it to be versus where realistically it's fair to be expecting it to be, right? Given the development process.
Yeah, it's a really frustrating aspect of the game, but just like all aspects of Tarkov, I have to say, if you just know that everyone else is dealing with the same thing, it's my silver lining on it. I think it's like other games as well. There's issues, and um, just like getting past that and worrying about everything else you can control is kind of enlightening. It like I don't stress about things like that too much, but it is really annoying when someone's like inside of you, like actually inside of you from like anywhere behind you on any map, especially like Fort. There's so many lanes in Fort and Bay 5 where they can be like anywhere and you just can't hear them. um that it can definitely like bring your mental down.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
my god.
I'm not gonna
Sorry.
lie. I also would be extremely disturbed when somebody was inside of me. Doesn't happen often inside of the
Yeah,
Escape from
man.
Tarkov arena scene, but
I,
it's in.
I mean, I love to be inside people. I don't want people inside me, and it's yeah, it's a tough.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, there we are. Clipped, shipped, wrapped, and
No,
sent off for Christmas, ladies and gentlemen.
no,
You can't not have
no
any fun
Diddy,
with
no Diddy,
Side of the Arena podcast. Oh my word. Destroyed.
no
He
Diddy.
destroyed. Vanguard Gaming coming in with a follow to support. Thank you very much. You got a little wiser today. Let's go. Right. On that point, Timmy, talk to me about your weapon of distaste because we did ramble a little bit with Oberstom there, but I validate the PKM fairly, actually. And
Thank
it's
you,
worth
thank
a
you,
good
thank
ramble,
you.
actually. It is worth a good ramble. So talk to me. What really lights your hair on fire, Mr. Timmy?
Shout out to Stripey is definitely the Ash 12. No, actually, no offense, Stripey the kitten. It's not. It's actually my heel as per se is for sure the Sega, and for sure the enforcer with the
Mm.
Sega in Last Hero, sit in the corner, leave me alone. Leave me alone with that bullshit. I don't like the Sega and anyone running around with it on enforcer. It's so frustrating. It's just like it just aggravates me, especially if you're running like a M4 and then like he's bouncing all the bullets and just taking out your legs. So yeah, absolutely, like yeah, Sega is my is the most annoying gun for me for sure.
I mean, there's for the last 3 or 4 months, I think up until these last couple of patches, I think there'd be a lot of people that would be with you on that one. I did get the fortune of watching Walker have his fun with the shotgun earlier on today, and I actually think that brings us to a nice little caveat to a clip I had set up from earlier. So let's let's prep up the what happens next scene, shall we, folks? This is a nice little segment we like to put in there for you guys at home to be able to join in with, so we can test the pros, one, on how aware they've been keeping and in tune with the scene as to which of the content creators they've been paying attention to and how good their game sense really is. So The title's simple. It explains exactly the name of the game. We're going to play you a portion of the clip. We're going to hit the pause button. Then we're going to ask you, what happens next? We'll chat with the two guys on screen with you here. Then we're going to chat with the guys in the chat and get some opinions. And then we're going to find out really what happens next. So without further ado, let's load up the clip. And let's take a quick look at this. I'm not gonna lie to you, the clip froze halfway through the first time of playing it, so we're gonna go back and we're gonna play it again nice and smoothly. Sorry, chat. We'll go for round 2. Nobody saw anything. Don't worry, it's all just a glitch in the matrix. We're going again. What happens next?
Obviously, he goes London style and shanks someone.
Okay, all right. I mean, that's a pretty confident in from Timmy. Timmy's like he's straight out with the knife. He's full sending it, right?
I can see a man from London when I see a man from London. He's going there and he's gonna shank someone up for his phone.
Is guaranteed kill as well. This guy's like a perfectionist. This is straight in. It's gonna be a one tap. Yeah, he's just straight. The guy that he shot, I'm assuming, right? The guy that he shot downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. So, yeah. So this guy lives around the corner from me. Definitely shanking someone.
I mean, there you go, chat. You've been all right. So Timmy says at that point in time, 0 bullets. We're going, and the guy that he shot at in between, he's going down and he's having him. It's a done deal. Rog, Oberstom, any counters to the argument from Timmy?
Well, I have the same idea, but I think he gets knifed. I think he's just he's not built for it. I think he's panicking under the pressure of having no bullets. He's getting smacked.
Interesting. Let's have a look at the chat and let's see what they're saying. Let's see what anybody's got ideas wise. We've got a melee from above from Don Mecca. He's expecting a Superman melee. Okay, all right, Roger Dodger. Come to Man's End, London style. Oh no, people really giving it. Giveth thy coin. I'm never going to London. He's definitely going to have him. Yo, what time is it, my G? 100% the guy guns him down. 100% the guy guns him down. Oh, Vanguard's not having none of it. Vanguard Gaming says it's a nat scenario. He's just going to get immediately clapped. Okay. Ooh. Only respect on knife kill if it's with a shovel. If he gets a kill from the same angle, he gets killed. I see Leroy Jenkins, so full charge. Well, all right, let's run the clip, shall we? Let's find out what happens. When Walker is caught in this situation, inside of a last hero, you would do what only you would expect any man to do. Honestly?
Oh no.
9.9 out of 10 for credit and execution, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's all I get. Okay, he got this close. It was this close to Leroy Jenkins. This close, okay? And somehow the Miracle Man just bye, Walker. Unbelievable, all right? Unbelievable. Great effort. 10 out of 10 for the knife. 0 out of 10 for execution. That's taco for you right there. That close, Timmy. You were that close.
Honestly, no longer allowed in London. I mean, how can, like, literally, you'll be, oh my God, that is just so unlucky, but that's an amazing clip, man, for sure.
Literally, right, that close he gets. And I love how, right, if any of you don't know Walker, the decisiveness at that point in time, right, because some of us would stand there and be like, gets into the inventory, oh, I have no bullets. Comes out of the inventory with the knife in hand already, and he is gone. Leroy! That was the end of the story. And then back to spawn he went.
It's the right click animation on the knife for me that is really funny. Just like, wow.
And just fishing rods off the end of it after he reaches out. 100%. 100%. My word. Everybody's loving the Pepes tonight. What up, Wallo? Good to see you. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Hope everybody's enjoying the podcast so far. We are going to be taking a small break, ladies and gentlemen, in about 10 minutes' time or so. We've got a couple more topics to talk about before we do send it off for a 5-minute intermission, so you can all get up, stretch, not feel too locked into your seats for too long, and then we can come back and have another natter again for about another hour or so to lock it up for today's podcast. But remember, you do not want to miss the second half of this podcast, okay? Because Pepe's aside, or Pepe's in front as we are right now, there is some really big news coming at the end of this podcast, and if you are interested in anything competitive arena, you do not want to miss out on what's coming up. So be present, or be square, one of the two. On that topic, let's talk about squares, all right? When we talk about thinking, we talk about thinking inside of the box, we don't tend to get too creative, all right? We keep it quite simple to save yourselves from stupid mistakes, okay? We're going to go outside of the box for now. We're going to think outside of those squares. And I'm going to ask you both a creative question. If you could take 2 weapons from Escape from Tarkov, grab both of those weapons, throw them in a machine, have it combine the weapons together so that you could take those weapons out into a futuristic world and wreak havoc with it, what 2 weapons would you choose to put together? Describe your creation and why. This is where the coin flip chat. We're just going to hang in silence as to who gets to go first, yeah?
I'll let Tom go first. I'm still thinking about mine.
Oh. Okay. Well, this isn't entirely outside the box, but my idea for this is I am like an OG Labs player, and so I would love using like the HK with Slick and running around with it and having a good time, but the bullet always let me down. And I think that the spear is a really good gun, but it gets carried by the bullet, and I don't think it's good enough compared to like an HK. And I would love to play like long barrel HK with like a high damage round, like the 6.8. Like that is like my actual dream. Just like a little bit better of that, and it's like the most meta thing. And like throw on top the old PK06, and then we're having a good time, I think.
I like it. I like it. Timmy?
I'd like, obviously, I told you about my frustrations with the M4. So if I were to, chuck 2 guns in, in a witch's cauldron, as per se, to see what comes out, it'd probably be like an M4 with Deagle. It's very random, I know, but like M4 recoil, 50 cal bullets, that'd be nice.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I'm going to show you a little something that I actually had a friend of mine do a little work on me for, as in work for me on, I don't know, words are a thing today. We've been inside you and now we're doing work on me. Well, rolling on from that one, let's have a quick look at what was put together in the background. So this is the futuristic weapon that I thought we'd get combined together. All right. Now this is firing an Ash 12 bullet. Okay, the nice huge caliber to go in there, but with a similar sort of fire rate to that of like an AK-12, all right? So we're taking like the chunky Ash 12 sort of body style, taking the slightly curved AK-style platform magazine that comes out the front of it, giving it that slightly shorter but chunkier backstock like the Ash 12 would be, but still having a drop off the back of the stock rather than a square stock for your AK. A side-mounted 45-degree canted sight, because let's be real, who doesn't love a good bit of arm glitching? You've got to cover that hitbox whilst you're aiming, right?
Yep.
Got to get down for the real hype. And, I mean, what else other than just a nice futuristic finish to it? Yeah, and smooth steel, maybe a little bit of camo patterning. Got a little bit of a comment coming out from Vanguard Gaming. Looks oddly like a 40k gun. Well, Vanguard, you'd be crazily surprised what AI art can do when you put the word Space Marine style in the style box. Big brain out there in the chat, Vanguard, clearly exposing all of my secrets as to how this was created. This isn't AI because Crack made this in his shed. Hey, if I could make things like this in my shed, do you think I'd be sitting here on this podcast right now? Man, I'm sure Elon Musk wouldn't exist in comparison if I was making things like that out of my shed. Either way, we are going to rock on from the futuristic weapons, and we are going to quickly talk about the maps next. Before we close out for the break, the last 5 minutes is going to be a discussion on what your guys' favorite maps are, the reasons why, what your favorite game mode is, and then maybe a potential idea as to what map you guys would create if you could make a new one inside of the game. So to begin with, what's your favorite map, Mr. Timmy?
My favorite map, a bit biased in terms of what I do, and I'm sure a lot of the community knows. It's probably Chop Shop, just because of it being absolute slaughter and pure action. And I was always, especially when I was growing up and playing COD, as you could imagine, Modern Warfare 2 and stuff like that fast paced, the bang bang and the respawning. I was a big fan of Team Deathmatch, but didn't play much Search and Destroy. I was just very impatient. So yeah, Chop Shop for sure. If it were to be a Blast Gang map, it'd probably be, I don't know. This is a very unpopular opinion, but I like Fort. Like I genuinely like I enjoy playing Fort, and it's very unpopular, but but everyone has opinions, right? So I really like Fort. And if I could make a map, I'd make Dust 2
You want to go for
in
something
Arena.
Dust 2 style? Ooh, okay, I'm
Literally Dust
sure.
2 in Arena. Like, or, maybe obviously you make the walls a bit smaller, maybe a bit more confined because of the difference in movement. But yeah, like I'd make it something like Dust 2 for sure. Or even Inferno from CS Counter-Strike Source.
Okay, yeah. And do you know what's funny? Not played slash watched a lot of Counter Strike Source myself, but Inferno, a map that I guess the name for the map is that infamous because of how good the map is. So it's even one that I've heard of myself. So it doesn't surprise me that that's an inspiration behind some of the ideas as to what you'd like to see come Tarkov wise. We've got Give Me Cobblestone coming in from Trevi in the chat there. That's another fond shout out, I guess, from previous memories. Oberstom, any favourite maps yourself? Any maps you don't like? Is there anything you would maybe design, a theme or sorts?
Now, maybe it's crazy. Maybe it's crazy, guys, but not playing Teamfight for a long time got me thinking about those Teamfight maps. That Sawmill. Shout out to Sawmill for being one of the maps of all time. It's definitely like different than all the maps. It's I like its uniqueness. I had a decent time actually playing it when it was out. RIP. But when it comes to maps that I think are like really good based on like just pure skill wise and like going into it and enjoying it, I think Bay 5. I think Bay 5 Blast Gang is the best map in the game. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. So, all right. That being said, then, if you think that Bay 5 is the best one in the game, if you were to be given the developer's toolkit, all right, you were like, they said to you, hey, go wild. Would you start off with a Bay 5 template and then expand from there? Or would you start from scratch but with a Bay 5 theme in mind? Or could you give us maybe some ideas as to what you see in your head right now if you were to be able to design a map from scratch and there was like no rules?
Yeah, so I think like a good thing for maps to have is like the 3 lanes with like a really strong mid that would have a lot of lanes. I think something like Dust 2 is like that's why like Dust 2 is such a good map because you can do a lot with the mid section of the map. But I think there's like very interesting things that Riot does with Valorant, like the way they develop their maps.
Yeah.
For instance, like Fracture, like you have a zip line through the middle and that's like how you rotate. Or one of the ways to, I guess it's kind of one of the only ways to rotate other than and so like and then you have like the 2 sides and you have 4 attack lanes and that's like pretty cool, I think. Also they go with like 3 sites, which is pretty like a Haven map. There's like a lot of cool things with that and very like attack sided. I really like playing aggressively and having that attacker sided maps and like a lot of options for the attackers is probably the best thing. So just like another strong map with a really strong mid like Bay 5 has. That's my goat map.
I actually think there's definitely some play to the points being extended outside of an almost maze like map. This is something that I've between last week and this week, and now you've just mentioned that sort of prompted me to an essence. And this is going to sound really nerdy, so go with me, right? But for any of you that watch the Harry Potter films, all right, the Triwizard Tournament, and they're in the Quidditch pitch, but it's a gigantic forest maze. I would love
Mm.
to see a similar scenario based off of that principle, where the pathways are not the same. They rotate every 20 seconds and doors close or open depending on how you push to the middle of the room for the plant. I would like only one plant location, but you have to not only watch your timings of your enemies' rotations, but you have to be aware of the scenery around you, okay? Electronic garage doors that maybe open and close or slide from side to side so you have better angles from a right hand side or a left hand side, or it favors the left hand peak in some scenarios down lanes where the door opens in favor of the left hand peak than the right hand peak. Now, I'd love to see something where it's a semi dynamic map. I'm not looking for people to shoot through scenery, although I do think that that's something that could come down the line is underbarrel grenade launchers come in, people take Metascore into using an underbarrel grenade launcher, and you can break some scenery to create different points of access in the future. So there's a thought there for that, but we're not going too wild with that today. But yeah, just something dynamic where the map not only challenges you from a pre-planning perspective, but that in-game under pressure perspective too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that. I like thinking on my feet. I think everyone should have to have that as like a little bit of a skill curve. Amazing idea, honestly. I don't know
Um,
about the
uh,
1 point though. I think maybe you need 2 points, but yeah.
Okay, okay.
um, what I would like to, and again, maybe this might be unpopular as well, but I'd love to see block on blast gang.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Like,
down for
and
that.
that's not, we don't need the devs to create something new. I think amending block for it to be a blast gang map and somehow making it, fully, uh, you know, I don't know, sort of arranging the map in a way where it really works and like listening to the community. I think that would be such a good map.
Absolutely. So before we do quickly round it up and go to the break, guys, we did quickly pop that poll in the chat for you there as to which one of the maps that you guys thought was the most favorite map of all. Currently having themselves the map split very evenly. Bay 5 takes the W with a 57% control of the vote, whilst all other three maps hold a 14% of the vote there. So the majority of you guys in the chat think that Bay 5 is the way forward. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick 5-minute break, okay? So go get yourself some more food, drink, get yourself settled back into your chairs because we've got some really important topics to talk about when we come back after this. So don't miss it because not only are we going to be talking about ASPL and some other interesting action, we are going to be talking about potential semi-pro things and much, much more. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this. We'll see you in 5. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Welcome to Arena podcast. This episode titled Pandamodium, thanks to the amazing sponsor that has come through from the Pandaric Esports Group, inclusive of the amazing support brought by SkiiMaskTimmy, Oberstom, and all of the rest of the pandas involved. You guys have been insane. I appreciate every single one of you for all your efforts, even down to those of you that are jumping in the DMs throughout this broadcast to try and give us some extra clips that we can work with. Guys, I appreciate it tenfold. All of that hard effort is not going unaware. Trust me, I am eyes on it. There is just a variety of clips that I can actually fully squeeze into tonight that are fully prepped up. So trust me, if it's not on today's episode, yeah, I will be keeping it banked up, ready for potentially a future one. All right, so please don't stop sending those clips in. I'd love to see my DMs exploding whilst this episode is going on, because it means that next one is going to be even better. Cat cam when we get a few more dollar, all right, we'll buy a couple more cameras and we'll get cat cams placed around, Max. That's it's a good shout though. Actually, we've got 4 cats in the house. I'm sure we could have at least 1 cat cam. Look, Timmy's got one. Timmy's brought the cat to the party. It's no surprise that Timmy's surrounded by pussy, really, is it? There you go, big fluffy cuddly cat. Love it. Love to see it. So, speaking of cute cuddly things, or shall we say, talking about shiny, amazing new things. I believe our Pandaric team has a little something they would like to share with you guys, okay? This has been something we've been hyping throughout weeks and weeks of conversations in the background between ourselves. And then it's something that we have, I guess, conversed through the DMs with, guys, right? In the background to try and help cook up bits and bobs. It's spurred a whole new surge of life into the mid-tier ranked systems in this game.
Sorry, just a quick one. I don't think the next screen is for
Don't worry, you're good. I know.
ASPL. Yeah.
I know,
Okay, cool.
I know.
Yeah.
Timmy's scared, chat. Timmy's scared that we're spoiling the next good thing. All right, we've got loads of stuff locked up for you. All right, so this thing that we're going to drop now is actually only one of a couple of different surprises coming your way. Okay, so this one is relating to both the EU and the NA scene. All right, this one is globally available, and I think, Timmy, do you want to just like yap about this for about 30 seconds to just introduce what it's going to be about, what it is, or do you want to just roll the trailer?
Let's roll the trailer.
Let's roll the trailer, he says, chat. Okay, so
and then we could discuss the,
this is something,
what?
chat, that has been prepped by Timmy, okay? I mean, some real hard work has been put into this, and again, it is another phenomenal piece of content that is put out there by the Pandaric squad. I know I'm yapping a lot, chat, but I cannot speak enough for the quality of the videos and the content that comes out from the Pandaric side, from that of the promotion video from the Panda Cup Duos and Trios tournament, Timmy, that to me, they have been insane. I've really appreciated getting to watch those back, even with some cool highlights of our own in there, you know. So it's cool to hear that the commentary goes well. So, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to shut up and let the guys that do some awesome work for Pandaric in the background do the talking. So, enjoy this. ASPL. Timmy. Tarkov Arena just got bigger. What is ASPL?
Arena Semi Pro League is a new league that we have been, as you say, working in the background. Albeit the video didn't have any sound.
And apparently everybody got an unskippable ad. So chat, we're going to roll it back, all right? We've never let us know that we are not going to give you the content that you need to see. I apologize. Chat, for some reason the sound's not coming through. I promise you it's insane audio, okay? But we'll get the sound sorted in a sec. But this is the trailer for you.
The ad ends in 20 seconds, correct? Can we wait 20 seconds?
Is it still cooking? Is it actually still cooking?
Yeah. The ad is going to end in 15 seconds.
Yeah, all right, chat. We're just going to vibe. All right, we'll talk for 2 seconds, chat. Okay, we'll just vibe, because that's wow. Talk about disgusting ad timing. All right, the one thing that we can't control. And do you know what the wildest thing is? I skipped 2 before the break to try and keep the content going, but it's not. Right, welcome back, folks. Sorry about the ad. We're going to now show the trailer that we were meant to be showing whilst the ad was going on. Sorry for all of you that got caught up in that, and for those of you that were already subbed and didn't get caught up in that, well, tough. Welcome to Deja Vu Scenario. Good luck. Enjoy. All right, here is the big news coming to the new Tarkov scene, courtesy of ASPL.
You need to unmute game audio on OBS.
That's what it is. Okay, so here we go. Let's try it again with a 1 last time. Just in case you didn't watch it, definitely worth a play for the twice. And now we get the video. And we'll try for the 3rd time, shall we? Hopefully OBS is updated. Apologies for the technical issues. Go for there. Did we get there, chat? Have we finally got there? Did we manage to make it all the way through? Has everybody seen what's going on? Did we make it? There's no way you got another ad. There's no way you got an ad, Stripey. You're literally subscribed and you got an ad. There's no way, bro.
Stripey, it's not Stripey the tiger. It's not Stripey the kitten. It's Stripey the rage bear. That's the new Stripey. That's the new Stripey name.
So talk to us, Timmy. What is all that about? What have we got going on?
So we absolutely love and what HPO does and Hunt Premier does, and the leagues and the tournaments they put together. We love seeing the teams go head to head, but we feel like there needs to be someone under Hunt Premier with some talented players who are maybe unsure of themselves to go into Hunt Premier. And obviously Hunt Premier does open qualifiers, so any team can join. But I think the way we develop the players and we develop Arena as a esport game, it needs to have a layer under it so we can create even bigger storylines and create bigger storylines and watch and see players go from playing in the semi-pro league to playing for Hunt Premier, and those that have the confidence and they reach the leaderboard as they play in the semi-pro league, are then going to go, we're gonna go and try for Hunt Premier. And we're going to go and try get into the big leagues to win some big money. Arena Semi-Pro League came as an idea because I just felt like the scene needed more, I would say, casual players to have an opportunity to put a 5-stack. I mean, they're running 5-stacks anyway. They're playing ranked. Maybe they're doing some missions for Tarkov, send some rubles over as I do because I'm always poor. And what I want to see is these casuals becoming a bit more competitive, a bit more organized. And the Arena Semi-Pro Leagues allows just that. The whole event will be run for 14 weeks. The whole event will be all the games we played every single Friday. So you come home from work, grab your popcorn, grab your friends, and watch some of the people in the community go head to head in a league that sort of builds them up to be better players mechanically from a strategic point of view, and sort of have that storyline where they build up and they maybe get scouted by a bigger team, maybe say TFG are watching and saying, wow, this guy is really performing and I can see him being inside our team, our main team, or as a sub, whatever it is. And having that layer, like I say, just helps build the storyline of Arena itself and the players that play it. I really want to see in the next season of HPO to have teams we've never seen play before and actually go head to head with some of the best teams in the EU. Same for NA, and that is exactly what I've been working on. It's finally announced. You can now apply with your team if you have a 5-stack. If you want to put a team together, create yourself a logo, apply. So it's on our Twitter, ASPO _ EFT. You will find the link to apply, and if after this, after I stop speaking my nonsense, I will post a link on where teams can apply for the ASPO league. Like I say, I want to give an opportunity to everyone to feel like what it feels like to play in tournaments. And I cannot wait to tell you more and show you more now that we announced it on this amazing podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Timmy, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to permit those links in the chat starting now. So, SkiiMaskTimmy is going to bop you some links in there. Mods in the chat. If Timmy runs out of time, please give him an extra 60 seconds to permit posting those links. For the time being, chat, obviously links are currently being shielded by Nightbot, and as you all know, Nightbot is a nightmare for going on a rampage, for blocking absolutely anything and everything, even if it is legitimate content. So please be warned, if you do want to try and post any links, your best thing to do is to send the link directly to myself on Discord, and then I can plug it in and get it pulled up for you that way and get it posted, or we could even pin something. Timmy is going to quickly pop a message in the chat now that I'm going to pin. I accidentally pinned 2TM's message saying JK. So, sorry 2TM, your moment of fame is gone. RIP. And we're going to pin Timmy's message. There you go, chat. So, pinned in the chat for you now is that link there. Get yourselves involved, as well as the ASPL EFT link also pinned in the chat. Okay? What I would like everybody to do is, if you've got 2 minutes with the spare time, go drop by both of those links and go make sure you share your support. Reason being, once you have done so, you will be kept up to date with all of that information and action direct from the source, okay? Here at the Welcome to Arena podcast, we're going to strive to bring you the most accurate information from the horse's mouth by getting the guys on the podcast. But where I get my information from, whilst I haven't got the people to speak to directly, is by keeping in tune with these guys' socials. So, starting with Oberstom, now's time to shout it out. T, what have you got when it comes to socials, Tom? What is it that people should look for when looking for your personal stuff, your team stuff, and then Pandaric as a whole?
Yeah, so if you want to keep up with me on a day-to-day basis, you can follow my Twitter. Usually malding about hockey or talking about arena there. I stream sometimes. I'm not always streaming because I'm usually in the lab crafting up some good strategies for the team. And then apart from me, the biggest thing that I do for the community is APS, Arena Pro Series, and we have an upcoming tournament on the 28th of March, and that's gonna be really cool. So you can check that out. I don't know if you want to permit me. I can link it in the chat.
Yes, sir. Let's go for that. So, permit, and it's Oberstom. You are Oberstom in, how are we spelling your name in this? There we go. That'll do.
I got
Bosh.
zeros. Hell
Go
yeah.
for it. 60 seconds for Oberstom to pop that link in there as well. And again, guys, don't forget, get yourself on those links. Go show the support. Get in touch and in tune with the community and the scene by jumping onto all of these socials. There's APS, the Arena Pro Series, which, Tom, I believe we have a little something extra to share with the folks and a little screen to show the guys for. Is this a last-minute edition, by any chance?
Yeah, so this is just this is the tournament that's going to be on the March 28th, 29th, 30th. It's the qualifier for the next official APS tournament with all the top teams. And so 3 teams from this tournament are going to go on to that tournament. And it's really cool, especially because I think NA has the most teams right now. If you count these teams and the other teams, 13 teams in the region. All these names, there's a few names here that are old names, but there's I think 6 of them are new names, new teams. Very cool. And yeah, gonna go check out on March 28th, 29th, 30th, like what these teams bring. It's gonna be really fun.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Discount Austin Powers coming in with a tier 1 sub 3 months. And this one is for the pros, guys. So there you go, Timmy. There you go, Oberstom. That one's for you, boys out there coming in and joining us on the podcast. Appreciate the support. Thank you very much, guys. Having a whale of a time with the Pepe laugh. You would be scared to be on the other side of the arena battlefield from any of those 8 teams on your screen, though. So while the Pepes roll, let's have a quick chat about some of those teams. And then there was a question, actually, before we talk about those teams for you, Timmy. Mr. Parents was asking, can I just confirm that it is a 14-week tournament for the ASPL?
Yeah, so the idea is to have a leaderboard based tournament, and to bring you action consistently every Friday evening. And this way we don't step on the toes of APS. We don't step on the toes of Hunt Premier, which tends to run the tournament sort of Saturdays and Sundays. So that is the point of the 14 weeks, is every Friday. At the end and at the grand finals, we'll have this other amazing thing that I'll announce. But let's just say it's an all-star game for all the MVPs of that tournament. The top 10 players of that tournament will basically participate in an all-star type game. that you have in football and basketball for extra cash prizes. So really, really cool stuff we're working on. Makes the newer players or newer wannabe pros work much harder to get that top 10 MVP place. All the leaderboards, all the bracket will be online and live, and you can just simply look it up and find out where your team sits, the team that you're supporting, and so forth.
Nice to see, and a great way to get more people involved with the scene. Let's be real, there's a lot of people that play in the ranked queues on a daily basis, on an evening at least, if not for, the back half of the majority of the day, to just try and push themselves a little bit further to get that little bit better and have a good competitive game. So good to see that there's going to be another environment for that sort of scene to continue to grow and evolve. And I'm sure Oberstom is going to be quaking in his seat for the thoughts of new challenges on the horizon that might rise up through the ranks and potentially shake up that what looks very strong positioning for the formerly Aspects, now Pandaric X squad. My amazement is tenfold, honestly. It's great to see so many new things coming out of the scene all at once. I mean, it's great that the development is happening, but not only that, I mean, we talked about it ourselves. The podcast is something a lot of people have been talking about. We've had the concept in mind for a little while. I know you and me, Timmy, have bounced ideas back and forth about many a different version of a tournament, that could potentially help grow this scene out. And it's nice to see that even in the background, there's things going on. ASPL. Again, I'm going to show you that screen of the teams for the last chance qualifier, the Arena Pro Series, folks. And I think maybe it's time to shout a little bit aloud about something we've been doing in the background. And I hope, Tom, you don't mind me explaining a little bit. But there's a couple of teams that, like you said, are new in this last chance qualifier. Is there any of these new teams that really stand out to you? Is there anybody that you're familiar with? And do you have any spice in the background from bumping into these teams that we
Oh,
don't know
well,
about?
yeah. So, there's a lot of cool people, like people that were in the scene months ago that came back. There's some ex MX players, there's some ex Sicario players. Evasion's back in the scene, which
Yep.
is really nice to see. Um, Invictus is a bunch of people who played in the last HPL and APS tournaments that has happened the last few months, and like a lot of people that you see in the ranked and stuff. And I mean, I think this could be a little bit of a bridge to what you're doing with Epic Fails, which is really cool to see.
Absolutely no idea what you're on about. Definitely not some background workings there. No, but Tom's right. There is a lot going on, and before we talk about that little epic fails, which we will sort of spoil a little bit more about in a second, something I did want to nod towards is there's been a chat with Slaughter and the New Dawn guys, and their roster has gone through a dynamic shift in the off season. So we will be looking forward to getting a hold of New Dawn and a couple of their members in the future, so they can come and talk to you about that roster and speak about the new direction for the New Dawn team after one of the rougher starting seasons, shall we say. I don't think it was any, shall we say, pulling of wool over the eyes to describe it like that. New Dawn had a good performance, but it was a tough 8 teams that was in that first season of the
Yeah.
NAHPL. I mean, Aquila were one of the ones that were questioned, that performed above and beyond. I think we all agree on in their positioning. So not every underdog team is going to be able to pull off that performance. But yeah, New Dawn roster changes looking good. Evasion back again. Always good to see the Evasion guys in there. I'm interested if they have roster changes. Do you know about Oberstom?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to see Attorney Day to see all the new
Ooh.
people that they have.
No
But they
spoilers.
got
No
a bit of
spoilers.
mixture of old, bit of mixture of new. We'll see how it goes with them.
Okay, so those of you
Looking
who've been
good.
paying attention to the ranked scenes on the night time will have noticed I have changed my name and the letters in front of it. We're no longer CW for Correct Wisdom. We are now an easy member due to the coaching we are doing in the background. So, due to ties with HPL, coaching a European team is something that decided to step away from. Unfortunately, there's a conflict of interest there. All right, can't work for the brand and also work to try and earn money from the brand. It doesn't make sense. All right. However, with the APS being something that I'm not interlinked with, because Oberstom has gone with a great approach in my mind of keeping that loyalty and support within the scene where it's come from, right, Oberstom? So for the staffing, for the teams, for what you were looking for APS, you're trying to keep it within that NA region, so it's a home built thing, right? It's a home brew thing. Everybody already knows each other, and that chemistry is there rather than working on it on the outside. And I also know, and I'm delighted to hear it, that it's another way to showcase some American casting talent that maybe we don't get to see in that EU scene as well, right, Oberstom?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I love working with people that have like different skill sets of me from me. And just like new people getting like new opportunities. It's really cool to see. Most of the people that have worked with APS and currently work on APS is involved in the NA scene. There's a few people from EU, but mostly NA right now. Um, yeah, it's very exciting to see.
It's something for me, and somebody asked me, was like, "Are you casting under the APS?" And I actually was like, "No, I'm not." But this is a good thing, and it's something that I really want to stand behind. Actually, is we've got to expand this environment as a team. Okay, it's not going to be cracked cast in every tournament that you see, and it shouldn't be, because there are going to be equally better, potentially outstandingly better casters than myself out there, all right, that can come and help bring extra to this environment. One such which I got to cast with Max for a little bit on Timmy's tournament, and I know OX Max also has a talent within casting as well as coaching, and I enjoyed that cast. Kirk on the lurk, who works alongside me for HPL, is a great NA caster. Hot Sauce, who also is from the NA scene, is a great NA caster, as is Blue ESQ. So there are so many great NA casters already, it would be daft to think there isn't a further pool of talent out there to go and explore, and I am all the way behind that. So very excited to see the casting for the APS, and what it means, chat, is I get to take a seat and join in with the teams this time. Not going to be playing on that NA ping, but I absolutely am going to be applying my efforts to try and help this newly formed Epic Fails team from members of old teams come together and try and put their pitch on the standings. Again, I'm not going to spoil that roster for you guys now. They are hopefully going to join us on a podcast in the near future to be able to talk about their roster and what's coming up for the Epic Fails squad. But if you're a cracked coaching fan and you want to keep an eye on the team to be backing inside of that APS, I will be biased this time because I've no reason not to be. I'm going to be an Epic Fails esports member all the way. But there are some really good teams in that stack for APS.
Oh, for sure. It's gonna be like really interesting. I think New Dawn has a big opportunity to come from their underdog position, especially with their results from the previous tournaments. And like I know Slaughter, who is their team captain, is he's very like positive thinking and like is really excited moving forward with his team and all his additions and everything. It's gonna be a great experience hearing from him. And it's like the same thing with everyone in this tournament. I think like there's a lot of excitement. This is probably the most teams that have been done ever in North America, and so a lot of cool things to look forward to. A lot of people to cheer on your friends, and cheer on your enemies, whatever. You know, it's great.
Absolutely. So, as we come back onto screen, let's have a little bit of a talk about a couple more personal things relating to you guys, okay? We've gotten to speak about some of the exciting things you've got coming in the future, inclusive of this amazing opportunity with the Arena Semi-Pro League coming up and that action in the very, very near future from the APS. So don't forget to get yourselves locked in to tune into both of those sets of action, because I know full well that I am going to be sat watch partying the APS in my Discord when it goes live, because I am looking forward to both watching the casters and the teams that are going to be taking part there, and I'm going to be wearing my full Epic Fails esports colours, supporting them all the way. So if you want to come and join us for that watch party, remember, !Discord to get yourself in the Discord. If the link doesn't work, reach out to me on Discord. Be like, Cracked, your text broke, all right? You've seen how terrible I am at being able to manage swapping from cameras to a basic YouTube video with audio, so, if we're going by that kind of marking, then it's going to be an epic fail. Maybe that explains why we joined the esports company. I don't know. Either way, jokes aside, terrible dad jokes binned off for that one. We are going to be moving on to the drip. All right, and I'm going to talk to the main man himself when it comes to the fashion and the flair, all right? Newly updated Discord profile, SkiiMaskTimmy over here. Timothy Swag, I like to refer to him as in my early mornings. I get out of bed, I have a glass of orange juice, I have a cigarette in the back garden, I go towards my coffee, and I just go, do you know what? one day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be as cool as Timmy Swag. One day. But not this day. So we're going to forever long and desire to be as cool. But Timmy, talk to me. When you're in game, what is your drip? What's your choice? Because I know you love looking slick.
Man, I wish like I really wish we could have nude PMC. So yeah, so what I tend to go for is the black cargos black cargo pants. Sorry, didn't mean to say that. SkiiMaskTimmy is my new name. No, but like I really like the black cargo pants, and actually I love the snowman t-shirt. I'm still rocking the snowman t-shirt. I love like the PMC having his having his arms out and shit, and yeah, really cool. And I love the fact that they added the tracksuit into the game too. That's so cool. For those that will never get the Adidas tracksuit, I'm really happy I could get it on Arena, because there's no way I'm going to interchanging Killing Killer like 100 times. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, I couldn't kill a scab 100 times, So, yeah, black cargos, snowman t-shirt, and I'm good to go.
Okay, nice and simple. Keeping it slick, keeping it nice and aerodynamic, shall we say? You don't want to have too much clothing getting in the way of your movement. All right, that SR3M already heavy enough. You want to be nice and nimble and able to hit those cool shots you were talking about. Oberstom, any advances? Any differences in flair, choices in clothing?
Yeah, so I agree with the naked PMC thing. Very much agreement.
Very based,
But
Roger.
yeah. For me, it's always been some sort of like my own thing. I've gone for the tracksuit, and it's really cool. But then when I am not feeling it, I like wearing the white jacket, the OG white jacket, and I'm really happy that they added that winter jacket because it's pretty cool as well. And then I like wearing a beanie and the goggles and like a half mask. Kind of is like my thing that I would run to the labs. And then I'd always have a yellow armband on. And I know like me and Apollo, we used to fight each other like years ago, probably like 4 years ago now, in labs. And he's like, yeah, I always knew it was you because you'd have the ugly ass white jacket and then the yellow armband. And yeah, that's the OG Tom drip.
You do recognize people, I think, from game to game based off of what you
Mm-hmm.
see them wearing. So that bomber beanie, the difference in clothing. Ooh, we've actually got an image here, folks, of the drip, which we love to see. Now, I do need to just quickly do a little bit of a shuffle. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this, that there. We're going to go to here, and we're quickly going to pull this up. Now, whilst we're pulling this up, chat, what I'd like the guys here to do is whichever one of you wants to go first, doesn't matter which. What is a piece of clothing you'd like to see in the game? Like if you could design an item to bring into the game, I think we'll go with Timmy first as well. What would you like to see come into Tarkov? Maybe one to represent you or the pandas. What's your go-to item? What are you creating to bring into the game?
For sure. I think this would be a game changer. Even like for the game, but a mankini.
Ooh, okay.
No, not a mankini. I'll probably have. I mean, we have Adidas. Why not have, as someone in chat mentioned, black Air Force Ones and a Nike tracksuit.
Okay. Just before we go to Oberstom for his item to bring into the game, if you'd like to see the typical Oberstom drip, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Sent from the man himself, specifically directly to the DMs, all right? There's no Chinese whispers involved here. If you're looking to recognize deceased, all right, from the other side of the arena, that's the drip you're looking for, okay? Not sure, personally. A bright jacket is normally one that gives me away a lot, I'll be honest with you, but I like the boldness, okay? Because this is definitely a mentality versus mindset kind of thing, right? You either care about being seen or you're that good that you don't care, right? It's the way you would look at it.
For sure.
Amazing. Right, so with that being said, okay, what item are you bringing in, Mr. Oberstom? If you had an item that could be brought into the game for drip that you could create to represent you or your team, something else, what are you bringing in and what's the reasoning behind it?
Well, I have a question for Timmy. What color would be the Nike tracksuit?
Good question. I would say maybe navy.
See, I'm thinking like a Nike tracksuit, like a red one. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, so you can stand out more and your enemy can kill you easier.
Yeah. Exactly. Or
And,
your jacket like blends in with your armband, right? So like people
yeah,
think you're red when you're not or something. Well, I guess it kind
yeah.
of changed that, but whatever.
Love
I
to
mean,
hear
I
it.
That's
mean,
Go on, Timmy.
no, it'd be quite cool because obviously now you're the enemy, right? So you're always red. So literally have a blue one too. You know what I'm saying? I'd
mm,
love to see
mm.
that. And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And maybe on the soles of the feet, we could have a little Pandaric logo. That'd be quite nice.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
there are Panda, Nike Dunks, Panda Dunks. So I do have these.
I'm going to be
other
honest with you. I'm not a fan of tags and stuff, but you have one of those logos as a team that I think if the spray tags, spray tagging the scenery around would be good. I think it's one of those logos that would really look fire for spray tagging things, and I can imagine that being something that people would go to almost BM instead of shooting bodies if that was available. If you knock someone down near a piece of scenery, spray a panda over the dead corpse, I feel like that would be quite a hilarious little,
that'd be
ode to
great.
joy. I think it'd be quite funny. So I can see definitely something coming in. I wondered, and somebody actually reached out to me. Somebody did get in touch on socials this week and said about the items from last week they thought would be brought in. So we mentioned having a caster name in game, right? Maybe an orange name like you have your purples or your greens or your blues and whatnot, and having like a microphone icon next to the name for a caster. Well, I've just bought some brand new microphone sponges that have all the different colours, all right, so we can make the microphone match the theme of the game. And we were wondering, the suggestion was, what if I could have a headset that allowed me to choose the color of the microphone in game. And we had a conversation that led down a very, very big wormhole, all right, which ended up in, well, the color of the microphone is really bright, so you just have a big bright color on your face that is practically a crosshair. Thoughts?
That could be a little
Uh,
cooked. Yeah,
yeah,
it could be a little cooked.
yeah.
Just
Having a big old red thing, yeah, in front of your face is not,
it sounded like
it's
a
not
good
gonna be
idea
helpful.
in essence, right? But that when you think about it in reality, you're like, wait a minute. Wait a second here. Wait a minute, guys. We made a mistake. Now nobody needs to buy a laser because it's already on my face. So
Yeah, I mean, like we can mod armor now, right? We can put different plates in it and stuff like that, and that'll be very immersive if we go into the color of your mic on your headset. You know what I'm saying, on your M32s. Yeah, I mean, good
brilliant.
idea, but yeah, tough in a fight.
Timmy's
I
not
would
down for
love
it.
I would love gloves in this game. Like being able to customize your hands and like
Mm-hmm.
CS:GO, that'd be sick.
Mm-hmm. I did think so, and this is something I always like to speculate on because people have very different opinions of what like would represent them and honor them if it was brought into a game. So some of the greatest things in games over the entirety of the concept of games as a whole is like odes to somebody that's done something within a game, right? Something that gets left in there as an Easter egg or a piece of scenery that gets named after you or a building that gets built in the shape, something like that, all right? If you guys had something made after you in the game, how would you like yourself represented? And I'll give you an example. All right, we'll do the big headed thing. We'll say if that was from my perspective, all right, I would find it super surreal, and I think it would completely trip me out if in Tarkov, in Streets of Tarkov, I walked into a room that looked like my casting desk. Right, my PC table, my computer, on the back wall,
Nice.
one of my pieces of artwork, maybe even a lootable piece of my artwork, like they had those paintings for the quest or something like that, one that could go in the hideout. All right, if I could walk into my casting desk in Tarkov, I think that would be what would do it for me. Like, it just, it really would be like a damn. Somebody knows me that well that that's like, that's a piece of me right there. So, give us an example. What would represent you if you had something left for you after the game moved to a certain place, I guess, or if you made something really cool?
Um, I'll go first. If Tom doesn't mind.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No, how dare you? What I would have is, you got like the bear plushie on Tarkov. I'd love to have
Mm.
like a panda plushie wearing a SkiiMaskTimmy t-shirt.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, and
That's my
totally
dream.
doable, right? Totally doable as
Yeah,
well. Just like the bear
easy.
beanie. Ooh, I
Change the
think we.
bear into a panda, add a SkiiMaskTimmy t-shirt with my logo on it, done.
Anybody that's out there with the good 3D modeling skills, yeah, get one mocked up, get it sent over. I think we'll get a social campaign for to Apple. Be like, Apple, please give us the panda with the Timmy shirt. I beg.
Nice.
Arena team item. I'm down for it. I'm 100% down. Oberstom, any advances? Any thoughts for your choice?
Oh, I am all about the competitiveness in this game. There
Okay.
has to be something with like the team just like honoring the team winning a tournament or something. Just anything like that. Maybe even like an in-game like cup item or something like that, or just even like a poster on the wall or whatever that like, oh, Pandaric X won every single tournament, or like, oh, sorry, I mean won the last tournament. Um Something like that. It would be really sick.
How would you feel of having like they have the prestige logo for your dog tag? How would you
Mhm.
feel about having S for season and then whatever number season of HPL you'd won appear as a prestige icon on your helmet?
That could be really cool.
Because only your team would have it, and it would be S1, maybe with a shield behind it for S1. S2 would maybe have a star. S3 has chevrons, so on and so forth. The development gets, the design gets a little bit different as you go down, and then you really, really do have something that's special. Because I know these new masks that have come out are for HPL players only, right? It's people that have played at a competitive level. These shattered masks, they're called the Centurion masks, I believe they are, aren't they? Right, the gladiatorial ones that
Yeah.
you can only have for playing on the pro scene. So I like them. There's a lot of controversy about them only being available to HPL. So I guess I'd like to just open the floor to discussion on that topic actually and see what your thoughts are on those masks.
I think it's really cool. It's like the start of like customization based on how good you do in the
Mm-hmm.
tournament. And I know it's like not for too many people, but stuff like that really incentivizes us to keep playing in the tournaments. So really happy about that.
Do you think there's a way that people should be able to earn that in game? People that aren't playing on a comp team. Do you think there's a way that should there be a monumentally difficult task that shows that the player might have potential to be on a pro team and therefore could unlock the mask? Or do you think it's necessary that they have that separation because, like you say, it's an extra reward for being on a competitive team for being at that level of gameplay already?
I think I'd like to jump in on this. I think it should be I think it should be only for those that are playing in the big tournaments because then everything can't be available to everyone because it beats the purpose of it being special. And as Tom Obers mentioned just now, and I think let the pros have their masks and those Timmies or like the say the ASPO or whatever it is, maybe they'll have a different item, maybe an armband that they participate in the tournament,
Okay.
something or they won or they've taken a certain place. But I do believe that the pros should have, the higher tier, the those hoplite masks and do you know what I mean? Because they were working hard for it. I see my players train extremely hard, and I don't feed him for weeks sometimes to make sure they're performing, and you know they need to be they need to be rewarded, not just in terms of the winnings from the tournament and stuff like that.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a good point.
I think they should keep doing like more things. Like just have a lot of items that can mean different things. Like one item is a good start, but having like a bunch, like implement the S tier like rewards and implement like what rewards based on your rank and like as well as like the prestige stuff they're doing and just like rewards for every single tournament. Like, oh, I played in um the 2025 tournament, or oh, I played in the 2026 tournament. They just keep on doing that and more, and then people can be like all like very happy about like their own different things. It's kind of like achievements, but it wouldn't be in the achievement section because then you aren't like missing something as like just an everyday player. I think it'd be pretty cool that way.
How strongly do you value a title or a digital representation of a victory versus a physical representation of a victory? In the sense that I'm saying to you, does it mean more to you to see a tournament organization go on socials that evening straight after the tournament and be like MVP of this squad won the tournament, this squad is the top dog in the scene right now, or let's say you take first place in the tournament, that social stuff happens, but just on like just a standard level. They announce the winners. It doesn't necessarily get hyped out, but it's like going through the motions. But then in the post, you as 5 people got a dog tag that said season 1 champions. Like, do you understand where I'm coming from? What do you value more? Is it the pride and the representation of the actual success, or is it nice to have that token gesture with it? And I'm not talking about this from like a wanting physical product standpoint. It's like how you self succeed, right? How you appreciate whether you've actually achieved that challenge or not, and whether you want something to remember it by. Like myself, my brain works very well at taking pictures for me. So a physical thing for me, sometimes I lose it. It can be more detrimental for me to have a physical thing. But some people that don't have such great a memory have a physical object, like a dog tag from a tournament, and they go to the dog tag and it reminds them of that memory and they relive it again. So what do you think on that concept? And would you like to maybe see tournaments send a little prize out for victory?
So, I mean, think of it like from a bragging perspective. If you're going to brag about something, like what's going to be more brag-worthy? Having like something from the tournament, or like saying, "Oh, yo, bro, come look at this Twitter post that happened 2 years ago. See, my name's on that." Like, I think that having an item and like be it like in person or be it in game would be like way more brag-worthy-able. And I think that's what really would matter.
I think the idea of dog tags are cool too, because like here's the thought in my mind is, right, you get 5 people that win, all right, and then maybe you get an esports brand that's representing them, all right. Let's take the Pandaric squad as an example, okay. Let's say Pandaric NA takes home their first season, Pandaric EU takes home their first season. You've got 10 dog tags there, right? Timmy dresses up in a cosplay where he's got 5 of the dog tags hanging off of him and 5 of the dog tags hanging off of him, like he is partisan or a rogue PMC killer of some form. And that's like the socials picture that you post up. You know what I mean? Look, we claimed not only the 5 dog tags of the EU top team in the competition, but we also got the 5 dog tags of the NA. And then you guys have those dog tags obviously sent out to you, so you've got it, and your dog tag maybe says deceased, season 1 NA HPL champion, blah, 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 so on, sort of like that. So I think with the dog tags being thematic from what this game is, I don't think there would be. In fact, I would be interested to see actually if there would be anybody in the chat out there that would be like, meh, dog tag.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be like pretty insane. I mean, like I went to TwitchCon and I got a dog tag from competing in that tournament, and like it still is really cool to me to have that from BSG.
Is it close by? Have you got that dog tag to potentially show the guys?
Yeah, I do.
Chat, you see, I knew it was going to be around. We've got to ask these. These are cool, by the way. I've not actually gotten to see one straight up myself, but I have heard a lot about these, and I heard they were very cool to be received. So, yeah, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it was TwitchCon NA, right, Oberstom, this one was, I think he said. It was TwitchCon NA, yeah?
All right, so I'm not going to show you the one that has the game code on it, because I still haven't
course.
redeemed it, but...
Okay.
Here, I don't know like how clear this is. You might not be able to see it. So it's just like a little etching that says BSG on one side.
That's
I don't
spot
know
on.
if
Yeah,
you
we
can
can
see
see that
that.
nice and clear. Yep.
And
Flip
on
that
the
one
other
over.
side, it has USEC and Bear on it. I think this is up, right side up.
There you go. Okay, so
Yeah.
nice and cool. It's just a little something though, right? It doesn't need to be. Nobody's asking for a solid silver dog tag or a perfectly flashy engraved one. It's just a little something to remember it by, and it's a memory that you're gonna hold on to for a long time. I mean, you could even, hey, later life comes around and kids are in the picture. You'd be like, well, here's a story, young one. When Dad was good at computer games, back when I was your age, yeah, well, I was known to be a whippet with a gun. And then you tell the story.
Yeah. That's very cool. Very cool.
Little bit of something. Timmy, any thoughts? Have you got any ideas? Is there maybe anything Panda Cup relevant to spoil in the future? Is there anything you'd like to tease for the audience, or anything you'd like to double down on before we start pulling it to the close? I think I've got about 10 more minutes left to chat on the couch with the guys from the Pandaric squad before we lock it out for the day, but now's the time.
Yeah, so with the announcement, obviously, of the ASPO League, what kind of organization will we be if we don't set ourselves up with a semi-pro team? So, and I think, not only is ASPO a huge announcement because we're going to be looking, at very very good production value. 2 matches being played, every Friday, so it's not very time consuming. The teams don't have to play, all the teams don't have to play every Friday, which is why it's 14 weeks. So it's very easy going, almost like a Sunday league with a cash prize in the end. But the I'd like to introduce, some of the players that you might have been seeing out in ranked that have BPAN in their name. I'm very happy to announce the formation of a team called Baby Pandaric, the third team under Pandaric esports organization, Pandaric EFT. The semi-pro league team, we have Ignutis on the roster, we have Mr. 2TM, we have Casbo, we have Leached, and of course we have our Polish Minotaur Kenchi. We have a few subs, and we're very, very excited to bring this team into the ASPL and see how they fare against some of these other semi-pro teams that have been put together in the background. I know we're announcing it now, but people have been working in the background and putting teams together. I'm very, very excited, about this league, and more details will follow. And I'm very excited about Baby Pandaric.
Also, super excited to be able to announce to the folks at home that the partnership between myself and Timmy will continue to extend its longevity, not only through those Panda Cup tournaments, but also, if I hope Timmy does not mind me spilling the beans, but we'll be doing a little bit of yapping for that ASPL, the Semi-Pro League, coming up in the honourable light of the Pandaric squad and SkiiMaskTimmy himself. Very grateful to be asked again to be able to yap over some amazing content, so I cannot wait to be casting on that, alongside some exceptional talent too. The desk will not just be populated by one, but it will have another absolute gem of a yapper to join us, if I am not incorrect, Mr. Timmy.
Yep. So the great thing is, the great thing is about the semi-pro league is that the casting table will be joined, by your big names such as Cracked or Hot Sauce. But we're also going to give the pros a chance to cast and try their hand in casting, or get the pros perspective on how the semi-pro players are playing. If you have a good understanding of the game and you love to talk about Arena, you're more than welcome to join the casting table. Cracked will be able to guide you, but I think it's a great way for you as well to sort of give a unique perspective of someone who actually plays the game on a very serious level.
Yeah, 100% looking forward to what that's got to bring in the future, and tuning in for the APS Last Chance Qualifier. So, a moment to recap, folks. All right, it is 23 minutes past 9 in the UK, which means it's 7 minutes till the end of the podcast, and you are all let loose back on those ranked queues so I can go and claim free ARP from you all over again. That being said, jokes aside, you all know I'm the one that's donating the ARP on the daily basis when it comes to the ranked queues, but that doesn't mean that the time left on the podcast is a fib. So, with that, let's start from the top. It has been the second episode of the Welcome to Arena podcast, title Pandamodium, which the VOD will be available for after the stream has finished, published live on Twitch. The YouTube is cooking. Roscoe has been cooking me for it not already being ready to have the first episode and the second episode up there, but all VODs will be being posted on that YouTube as soon as it is finalized and released, as well as future episodes coming in the future. So from today's episode, do not forget the ASPL, the Arena Semi-Pro League, coming to you soon. Get in locked with all of the Pandaric socials, SkiiMaskTimmy, and both of the team stuff to keep yourselves on top of who you're playing against and what you need to do to get involved with that, as well as the last chance qualifier for the APS coming up for the final 3 days of March, so that we can see who our last teams are going to be for the next iteration of the Arena Pro Series. So many things coming up in the future relating to insane Arena Pro content, semi-pro content, and general community-based content as a whole, thanks to the great work being done by the Pandaric guys. And a final shout out and thank you to SkiiMaskTimmy and Oberstom for joining me here on the podcast today. So before we wrap it up, guys, we'll go to Oberstom first and then to Timmy finally. Any final words, anything you'd like to shout out, any people you'd like to shout out? If you need your mum to take a picture of the TV because you're on screen, now's the time to give her a ring, say, "Mum, get the camera, I'm famous." What have you got to say before we close out, gents?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to say thank yous to Cracked for bringing this podcast into Arena. I think and also I want to shout out to Arena Insight for bringing the Arena news. And on top of that, this is the reason why we've actually got involved with Cracked, and we need to now look to support all these people that put this hard work in, support them not only by sharing and spreading the word, but also financially, which is very important for the benefit of the scene. And we are going to do whatever it takes to help grow Arena and the communities within it. And again, I'd like to thank you, the EU team, for Pandaric, for all their hard work and major roster changes, having a coach in place. I'd like to also thank Coach, your Dukesies, your Shvedases, your Wraiths, your Gores, your Dennies, all the players, your Snorlaxes, Mr. Ace himself, and of course the Pandaric X team, which I'm extremely happy and proud to have. Tom is an amazing individual who does not only get involved and manage his team, but he also advises me and gives me a fair opinion on the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm trying to grow. And of course, I can't wait to watch the APS, and I'll probably be in there with you, Cracked, judging the gameplay. Thank you so much for having me today, Cracked. I really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, sir. It's always great to have one of the pandas with a strong sword on his back ready to come and stand to the call of duty. Let it be known, chat, okay, if there's one thing, bottom line, that should always come synonymous with the name SkiiMaskTimmy, is the work ethic is something you should desire to be able to produce. This man does not stop cooking all the time, all right? If you ever want to question how tough things are in the background, or that every second of effort is being put into it, look no further than this gentleman right here, because he is working his backside off to bring extra to the scene. Speaking of other people bringing extra to the scene, before we do quickly speak to Oberstom before closing out, I did want to shout out to a head in the chat that's popped up there, and I'm going to get the pronunciation of this absolutely gross. So, Kiesman, if that's you and I've got that wrong, I apologize, but Arena Insight, guys, okay? There is a phenomenal avenue of information regarding everything that comes from the pro scene, okay? If you are not following Arena Insight on Twitter, you should be. From individual match breakdowns to statistics to great graphics and even just an insight, shock horror in the title, to what's going on behind the scenes. You've got to get involved with what's going on there. Oberstom, I'm actually just going to quickly permit that for you, just so that you can do that again for me, because that is a shout, and it apparently doesn't like your name. Why does it hide you from tagging you for this? There you go. Go for it. 60 seconds and it's down. Yeah, guys, check out the Arena Insight page, okay? It is a humongous attribute to the scene as a whole, and I am delighted to be able to say that it is something that I would rely on heavily when it comes to building up stats for casting, okay? When I'm going into a game and I need to look at who's hit headshots or what the scores were from previous games, and I need a quick 20-second glance at something to get myself locked in, it's the Arena Insight page that I am looking at. So please, guys, make sure you drop by that and pay it some heed, because it is, again, being run by a legendary human, and it is doing great work for the scene. So, yapping over. Oberstom, any final words, any shout outs, anybody you want to spread the love to? Are we saying hi to the team? Are they all sat in chat watching tonight?
Oh, yeah. Well, big shout outs to everybody at Pandaric. My team, the EU team, everyone behind the scenes, everyone who plays with us, everyone who makes this experience such a great time and just enjoyable, like all the laughs, all the good times, everyone getting better at the game and doing so well together. It's been an amazing time, amazing experience. Thank you so much, Timmy, for having me on here with you, and thank you so much, Crack, for having me on here. It's been a very good time, very good time. Can we see the Baby Pan logo, or can the stream see it?
Have you got it? Would you like to, if you've got it ready, we can have a nosy? Yes, sure. Let's have a, oh boy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you want a spoiler to close out the show with? Well, here's one for you, okay? Let me just quickly cook this up, because this will take me all of 20 seconds to do. Oh, my word. Okay, well, this is good, chat. This is good. Just
You guys are going to enjoy this.
It's almost already sized. I need to just quickly size this a little bit. This is great, guys. This is absolutely great. Do you know what it reminds me of? And it's not gonna, the name of it's not coming to my head right now, but we used to get little chocolate biscuits like these. Do you remember the little, what they called, Animal Friends? The little chocolate biscuits that used to look like that, and one of them was a panda shape and it looked like this. Ladies and gentlemen, Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of the podcast. We're going to be back same time, same place next week, Wednesday, 7:30 UK time, for our 3rd episode, which is going to be an Aquila feeler. That's right. We're going to be having a look at one of the other HPL NA teams that took part in our most recent season and placed extremely well. Better, we would even say, than what was expected of them. So if you want to be here for Aquila Fever next week, get to tune in to talk to myself, Shelby, KB2, and No Technique, then do not miss out next week, Wednesday, 7:30. That being said, a thank you, a shout out to SkiiMaskTimmy, Oberstom, and the Pandaric group all around for bringing the support here to the Welcome to Arena Correct Wisdom podcast. You guys have been the best. We have been #ChillChatWithCracked, and we'll catch you on the next one. Enjoy this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have loved every single one of you being here. I appreciate all of the support, awesomeness, and activity inside of the chat and everywhere else inside of the game. Escape from Tarkov Arena is only the scene made epic because of you. We're going to choose Ski. I love every single one of you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you all on the next one. So let's go take some of that awesome love and spread it out there. Go give the man with the majestic mustache some movement and magic. I will see you all on the next one. Peace.